Munich Olympics were on the way to becoming the pleasantest Olympics because the West Germans worked to make them so. Today, one observer gave them a new name, the Bloody Olympics. Altogether, 17 people were slaughtered yesterday, 2 in the Olympic Village and the other 15 in the shootout at the airport. We begin a program devoted almost entirely to the Munich atrocity with a report on the shootout last night. ABC's Lou Chaffee was there.
There are still a lot of questions to be answered about what happened last night at Fürstenfeldbruck Air Base. However, the German authorities admit that they tried to ambush the guerrillas and failed. The ambush was attempted soon after the guerrillas and their hostages arrived at the airport by helicopter. There they were supposed to have boarded a German jetliner for a flight to an Arab nation. The German government says it was convinced that this would have meant certain death for the Israelis, and the decision was made to try to either disable or kill the guerrillas at the airport. They admit that police sharpshooters opened fire first. The guerrillas who were not hit then opened fire on the hostages. When it was over, all 9 Israelis were dead. 5 guerrillas were killed, 3 others captured. A German policeman also died. What made the tragedy seem even worse was the fact that for hours last night, there was a report that all of the Israelis had been liberated, a report which was not denied at the time. German authorities blame poor communications with the airbase, which was completely sealed off. One newspaper summed it up by saying, whatever the truth about the tragic events of last night, Germany will emerge a loser.
We have only the strength of a great ideal. I am sure the public will agree that we cannot allow a handful of terrorists to destroy this nucleus of international cooperation and goodwill. The games must go on.
We have several reports tonight, including a look at the investigation and how security here is being improved. But we begin with ABC's Judy Muller. Judy?
Forrest, shortly after 1 this morning, police received a 911 call described as a calm American male voice warning of a bomb. Minutes later, before that warning could be relayed to police, a security officer at the Centennial Park noticed a suspicious knapsack next to the concert stage light tower. He then summoned the bomb squad.
They urged people to move away, but hundreds had gathered in the popular park to listen to a band. Among them, swimmer Janet Evans, who was being interviewed nearby.
All the time, I didn't want to be another person.
And nobody's bothering you, right?
Well,
people got to running and people was hollering, it's a bomb, it's a bomb. Then chaos just broke out.
Chaos and confusion.
what was it?
A pipe bomb, to be exact, packed with nails and screws, custom built for pain.
Kaboom! Just like a shotgun blast, I turned around, 2 guys are laying on the ground.
There were 2 fatalities, a 44-year-old American woman killed by shrapnel and a Turkish cameraman who suffered heart failure. More than 100 were injured, some in the rush to leave the park.
First of all, the games will go on.
To put this in perspective, the Atlanta Games are protected by the largest peacetime security force ever assembled by the U.S. There was no call for extra manpower after this morning's bomb. There was no need.
With military precision, the soldiers marched in and took over. By mid-morning, these phone banks in front of a downtown motel became the focus of the investigation. And it is here that the FBI believes the 911 call was made. Before the explosion, it was estimated that more than 30,000 law enforcement officers would provide a tightly woven web of security. Now the security has taken on the feel of a siege. Police officers in riot gear search for suspicious faces among those who ride Atlanta's mass transit to the games. Merely driving a van with rental license plates is enough to trigger a full-scale luggage search. And this morning, athletes awoke to find armed guards in their compound.
Forest investigators see this as most likely the work of a deranged individual American or very small group. Except for the Irish Republican Army, foreign terrorist groups usually don't give warnings, and the IRA doesn't operate in the U.S. Also, the pipe bomb is a very primitive device, not associated with foreign or sophisticated U.S. groups. And militias like those in Arizona and Oklahoma City usually target specific federal facilities, which was not the case in Atlanta. In fact, some of the more paranoid militias have been warning that the feds would stage a terrorist incident in Atlanta in order to furnish a pretext for confiscating their weapons.
In 1973, the nation was captivated when 29-year-old Billie Jean King defeated tennis ace Bobby Riggs in a match dubbed the Battle of the Sexes. A match met with more fanfare than any other in tennis history. For King, it wasn't about proving she had the skill to beat a man on the court. It was about the future.
Why was that so important to you? Because it was about much more than a match for you.
Oh, it was about social change. You have to remember in 1973 when I played Bobby, or in 1972 when Title IX was passed, women could not get a credit card on their own without it being co-signed by a male, for instance, just to give you one example. And I knew that my match against Bobby Riggs was about social change.
In 1972, Congress passed a law called Title IX, which protected girls and women from discrimination in schools, colleges, and universities. This included discrimination in school-sponsored sports. At that time, only 15% of college athletes were women, and in high schools, only 7% of athletes were girls.
When I was growing up, girls just didn't run in public.
No one on my all-boys team would pass to me.
Dad told me I couldn't be a boxer. He said I was too small.
There was a guy who tried to spit on me and then push me out of his way. I'm 55 years old and I run close to 70 miles a week.
Just want to play ball.
The National Football League, and you get this window where all eyes are on you. You can use that. You can use that platform for good.
Le seul pays de l'Afrique qui a toutes ces richesses ne peut pas sombrer dans la guerre comme ça. S'il vous plaît, déposez tous les armes. Faites les élections, organisez les élections et tout ira du mieux. On veut s'amuser. Arrêtez vos fusils là. On veut s'amuser. Arrêtez vos fusils là. On veut plus ça.
One of the reasons I'm here today, my friends at Sprint and Direct to You are going to be giving you 7 brand new iPhones. My friend Christina is here. So these are the phones. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Plus, I also have a plan, the all-in plan. And you don't have to worry about paying your bills for the next 10 years. You're welcome, you're welcome. But one of the main reasons why I'm here is I was told about your family and I was very honoured to come down here and be welcomed into your home and actually meet you, you know, one-on-one, because I've heard so much about you. I've heard how much you work. I've heard, you know, what an amazing family together. You're such a tight-knit family. So, thanks to my friends at Sprint, I have this for you. Wow. So you can go ahead and open it if you would like. Okay. You know, I'm very fortunate in my life, and to be able to do this for such a deserving family that works so hard. I mean, it's an amazing feeling.